We are live from the Spero Clinic for our first of 3 graduations today. First up is Dennis. Dennis, you actually got to us really quick after your diagnosis, which I think plays a big part in how quickly someone progresses, even in the first month, hitting 0 pain. So that's amazing. And then we've just progressed from there to today, and you're doing so great. We're all very proud of you. I'm going to hand the floor to you, okay?
Cool. Thank you, Dr. Hello. So I sat in this waiting room and have watched many weeks, many graduations, and have dreamt of this moment for myself. So really excited to be here and speaking with you guys now. As Dr. Lauren mentioned, I got here pretty quickly, so comparatively speaking to most patients on average, not as much history with CRPS. From the moment I was diagnosed to getting here was roughly 3 months. And now I am graduating today. I'm still here for a couple more days next week, doing this today because one of my therapists won't be here next week. But ultimately next week will be about 12 or 13 weeks, depending on how you count it. So excited to share my story. I'll go into that a little bit. It started off earlier just this year. I was about to go skiing and I had a freaking ingrown toenail. That's it. No injury, no surgery, just an ingrown toenail on my big left toe. And I was like, I should probably get that checked out and removed if I'm going skiing. So I went to a podiatrist. He would cut away at the nail. I'd come back a few weeks later. He'd cut away at the nail. And so it was an ongoing process for several weeks or months. And we decided, hey, let's do a permanent procedure. Many people do it. They just burn the sides of the roots. So on May 15th, I came in for that procedure. He shot up my toe 4 times with just the numbing agent, came back an hour later, was about to do the procedure. When I was like, hey doc, my toe is completely numb as it should be, like why don't you actually try to cut away at the nail pretty well since I'm not kicking you in the face like I normally am. And he's like, hey, that's a great idea. So we didn't even go through with an actual procedure. All I had that day was 4 shots to numb my toe and cutting my nail away. And fast forward 1 or 2 weeks later, my big toe started blowing up. It was swelling, the whole foot started getting discolored. There was pain, and over the course of that next month, the pain got really bad. It got bad to the point where I called it a pain of 11 out of 10. I couldn't even walk the last few days to the bathroom 10 feet away. There were moments where I would cry myself to sleep. It was that bad. And so I started Googling everything, of course. As many of you here, I'm sure, I went to a team of doctors, multiple podiatrists, primary care physicians, specialists, orthopedic surgeons. Luckily, I was diagnosed fairly quickly in a matter of a month, set up an appointment with a pain management specialist, which I had to wait for. In that time, Googled the crap out of CRPS. As a millennial techie, I feel like sometimes I could work for the CIA or FBI. I could uncover anything. But I felt like I knew CRPS better than probably your average medical clinic or the medical community who doesn't even know about it. Ended up going to the pain management specialist who put me on those stereotypical pills, which I was happy. I went down to like a 7 or 8 pain. A couple weeks later came back, higher dosage down to a pain of 2-3. A couple of weeks later came back again. He was hoping I'd get to 0, and I wasn't at a 0. So at that moment he's like, all right, time to do invasive surgery. We want to move to the spinal nerve blocks and so on and so forth. And that's the moment I put my foot down and I said, no, I don't want to do any of this. I had done enough Googling, been on enough forums. I discovered the Spero Clinic at that point, had I think my first conversation with Dr. K, and quickly had a second conversation and ultimately decided I want to give the Spero Clinic a try. And so from the moment I committed, I think with Kaylee via phone to getting here, I jumped on a plane, I think in under 3 weeks, got out here on my own. On August 23rd and the morning of August 24th started the clinic. And the rest is history. So as I said, 12, 13 weeks. As of week 4, I've had 0 pain. And now we're at week 12, week 13, which is absolutely amazing. One of the things I want to share for the patients here who are new or have been here, I think what's extremely important is hope, and that's 50% of this clinic or anyone with CRPS. And I remember actually that Sunday night, my 3rd week, there was a hotel going away party, graduation party, and I think I was even talking to some of the patients here, and I was getting negative. I felt defeated because on average, I had heard that patients here have temporary pain drops, right? Even if it's 5 seconds long, 5 minutes, 5 hours, I had not had an ounce of change up to those 3 weeks. And so I was getting worried, maybe this isn't gonna work for me. And then funny enough, that next morning, the Monday morning of my 4th week, I woke up completely with no pain. and it stayed for me. And so I think you have to have hope. And another story I want to share actually related to Dr. Katinka. I was in a therapy room with another patient, and she walked in, and I remember she was sharing that, hey, you need to build a physical poster board. You need to show your goals on it, put what you want to get out of this. And I took that to heart. So what did I do? I ran, well, I couldn't run at that point. I went to Walmart Supercenter. I bought up every arts and craft item, every marker, like 3 poster boards, and then I did nothing with it. I sat on it. But here's what I did do. Because I bought up every single marker, I did it my own way. I have a giant mirror in my bathroom, and so I took those glass markers and I Googled inspirational quotes, and I started putting lame stuff on this mirror of like, believe in yourself, you got this, if anyone can do this, like you can. And even there were like trending Instagram, TikTok like jingles, like maybe some of you who are on there remember from a couple months ago, there was like more passion, more energy, more footwork. So I was like, all right, that's gonna be my jingle, especially because it's in my foot. So I would stand in front of this mirror like every time I'd go to the bathroom, every evening, every morning, and I'd like pound my chest and tell myself that I've got this. If anyone can do it, I can do it. And every morning I'd get in my car and I'd put on Spotify and I'd blast music and I'd do like my little Jersey fist pump and get myself excited for the clinic. And so my point there is, you know, it gets difficult at times, but make sure that you have hope, because, and even if you don't do a poster board like Dr. K suggested, do it your way, and that's, you know, 50% of the battle. What else? In terms of the staff and facility, I think there's, you know, a lot to be said about it, and I think there's a huge misconception, and this goes out especially to anyone watching online who's considering it. Again, I had Googled been on every single Reddit forum, joined multiple CRPS Facebook groups, and for whatever reason, there's a ton of folks out there who have never stepped foot into this clinic and think this place is a scam. And so in the same way, you know, I'm sure some of you out there are considering this place, and same way I was as a, you know, marketer from New York, the first thoughts that went through my mind were, oh, these are paid actors up here, right? Spero is hiring people, and I can tell you 100% fact I'm not a paid actor, even though sometimes I wish I was. You know, screw the haters is what I have to say to the people out there. They've never been here, they don't understand. As soon as you step foot into this place, you see the miracles that happen here, and I've seen it with my own eyes. So don't listen to anyone out there. If you have an opportunity to get here, get your butt over here. And then also to that, I'd like to talk about the staff momentarily. Another misconception for me, again, coming from the New York, New Jersey area, we tend to think we have the best doctors, the best offices, hospitals, and I remember thinking, well, what is this random little clinic in the middle of Arkansas? It's probably like in a cornfield or cow field with like 2 doctors and a couple of assistants. And like, you know, it's funny now, but that's what I thought coming from the New York area. And so again, for anyone out there, like this is a full-on facility with multiple buildings, a staff of over 40, I think 45 maybe, correct me if I'm wrong. But I know this speech is about me today, and if it's okay, I know the Spero Clinic, you've been sharing your staff and pictures and introducing everyone. I remember when watching these videos, I was thinking, you know, there's one social person behind the camera. If you wouldn't mind, and if it's okay, I know we haven't done hair or makeup, if you could do a 180 and actually show the breadth of staff that's here, and if everyone could give a round of applause to all of the staff that's here, because when I was on the other side of the camera, I thought there was only like 1 or 2 doctors, and there's so many of you. So if you wouldn't mind showcasing the staff that's here. So for anyone online, you can see it's not a cow field. We are, you know, real facility. And then I'd love to thank specifically some of the folks here, the team. So Dr. Lauren and the rest of the bacon, lettuce, tomato team, or incorporate, as we say, the business leadership team, but the 3 doctors that have spearheaded and conducted my stay here. Thank you so much. I know I haven't always been the easiest patient to work with. Also, thank you to Dr. Katinka for, you know, establishing this facility, just the miracles that go on here. Absolutely amazing. To the wizard of Dr. Lucas, to Dr. H for all the crazy stuff she does with blood work. And then I'd love to at this time call up my 2 main NMR therapists, Bianca and Katie. I know it takes a team, but I've spent a lot of time with them. So get on up here. I started off with Bianca, who's just a sweetheart and amazing, and she's ultimately the one who got me to zero pain after the first 3 weeks, so I'm really grateful to you. The amount of times I have also recorded on video and heard her say, "Jesus, Dennis," because of how much I stressed her out, so I apologize for all of those moments, but I'm really grateful. I can probably make a whole looping video out of all those, but thank you to you. And then moving on to Katie, and up till now working with Katie. It's an absolute wild ride with Katie every single day, as I'm sure everyone can attest to here. She has pushed me and just pushed me to my first hundreds and pushed my butt, quite literally pushed my butt. We've attached pads to my butt and taken it to 100, and you know, I don't recommend that to anyone. It's not pleasant. Quite frankly, I'm surprised my butt is still attached to me at this point. But it's been a wild ride, and I think both of you, I'm not sure how I will continue messing with Katie once I'm gone, but I'll make sure you get random post-it notes on your doors and outside on your windows when I am away. Thank you so much to the both of you. Can't name everyone by names, but in the other building, you know, starting Joy, who welcomed me and told me about the community and where to eat, and Eric, who spoke about his own CRPS experience and guided me along the way. Heather, who has just been a pleasure always to walk into and in with and just talk about anything and everything, and I was always anxious about therapies, and she would explain them to me. Shane, who is probably the nicest person ever. Like, he would set me up, and then about to walk out the door, and I'd say thank you, and he'd be like, "No, thank you," and I'd be like, "Dude, thank you." So 5-star service, Shane. You know, all the other ladies there, Ewat, Big G, the ladies in the corner with EST and Piezo, who bring the house down quite literally from their loud laughing and screaming, and Lil Katie. I'm sure you'll remember this forever, but I hope you have a lot of other patients that you hook up cables to their back and then they attempt to run across the room and all the cables rip off. So thank you so much to everyone. The front desk, you guys are absolutely amazing. I'm not a morning person. I walk in every day and you guys are bright and smiling and just welcoming, and to the assistants and runners and absolutely everyone in this clinic, thank you so much. It means a lot. And then to my own support crew, my family, my mom, my dad, my brother, who have helped me from day one to get here and supported me and guided me along the way. To my girlfriend, who is awkwardly on a plant and on FaceTime over there watching from London. She's been absolutely amazing. From before I left home, she actually wrote out 5 or 6 greeting cards knowing I'd be here alone with, like, for the day I'm feeling lonely or when I need help, or, you know, the first day I hit 0, and even for graduation. So I've read all of those cards. I still have 1 left to go, and she's visited me on 3 different occasions, so it's probably no surprise that that Monday morning when I got my 0 pain, she actually flew in the night before. So thank you to my best friend as well, who came to visit. We terrorized all of Northwest Arkansas by visiting every single Escape the Room facility. So I'm excited to go back to New York and do those. And just to all my friends, all my family, extended family, who have sent me greeting cards. My whole fridge is full of greeting cards and care packages. Thank you so much. And again, to everyone in this facility, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Did you want to say a few words?
I think the Post-its were like his way of trying to make me know that we were still friends, because we kind of have like this brother-sister thing where we just really kind of beat the crap out of each other, and then he'd come like tape a smiley face to my window. So, but no, I mean, you hit 0s early, so a lot of your treatment was about strengthening, which can be harder at times because you're already past that hump of I'm fighting for something, right? But in the end, we're standing here now. You still have tools to work with, so you're going to do great, right?
All right. Are you ready to ring it?
Yes, I am.